Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, guys? Welcome. Welcome back to another live here. Hope you guys are doing well, having a wonderful day. We are doing a bit of an update here for today's big enhanced risk here. We're actually going to be giving you guys a bit of a breakdown in terms of what we could expect here for today. In terms of the latest updates and all that stuff. But anyways, guys, hope everyone's doing well. What's up, Jim? Good to see you. What's up, Jacob? Hope you're doing well. Tabletop coming with a $2 super chat, man. Thank you so much, dude. Saying worried about Sunday. What about thoughts from my area? So I don't think it includes North Carolina tomorrow. Oh, it doesn't include your portion of North Carolina tomorrow. We do not have a risk here for tomorrow. You said Sunday though. Also Sunday, actually, they just added a marginal risk here for Sunday, but it does not include Wilmington. So you're not in the risk here. I don't think you're going to be in too much of any big concerns. I mean, even the level 1 threat is, this is relatively a lower end threat here, but you're outside of it. So, we'll keep an eye out there for storms on Sunday, but I don't think it's going to be much of anything for you as of now. Nothing big. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, man. Saying, can we get a sounding of a storm around 8 p.m. in Kansas? A single cell popped up. Looked at it. It looks crazy. What is that? HRRR, I'm assuming. Here, let's bring that up. Actually, I want to reset our map here because let's hop back to our main map here. There we go. So now we can actually see the town names and stuff. But yeah, I'll pull up a sounding. I'm assuming it's the latest HRRR. So today's mode is going to be relatively just a bunch of scattered storms here. You can see that we're going to have a bunch of them in which, we could have a bunch of, kind of semi-discrete supercells in which a couple of those obviously could be producing tornadoes, large hail damaging winds. It's going to be a pretty active day more than likely for today. But you set up here in Kansas. I'm not sure what run you are going off of, but I will pull the environment. Is there any model? Is it a specific run, a specific time? Because without that, I can't really tell which one you're looking at. But we are on the 18 UTC run here. This is basically 10 o'clock p.m. I'll go ahead and grab a sounding here between a bunch of storms here. So let's just kind of see what the environment looks like. A little bit of a capping inversion here. But we do have some pretty good wind shear throughout the atmosphere. Definitely enough lower level veering to create the potential for tornadoes. Great moisture, lower 60 dew points, relatively mid-dry atmosphere. Or dry mid-level atmosphere, I should say, in which this could actually enhance some hail growth for today overall. Let's see here. What's up, Ponderosa? Good to see ya. What's up, Squashy? What's up, Samuel? What's up, Roby? What's up, Tom? Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. How's it going? Do I think that Northern Indiana, or how do I think Northern Indiana is looking tonight from storms? Let's go ahead and pull up your zip code here. I'll see what we got going on for you. But let's go ahead and pull this up. So you're up in Northern Indiana here. So for today, we do have a level 1 threat out there. Isn't anything going to be, isn't going to be anything super crazy. Not expected to be anyways. Although a couple of strong to potentially severe storms is possible. We do have a 2% chance for tornadoes here, which tornado probability is pretty low, given that it is a 2% chance. And the strength of potential tornadoes could get up between EF0 and EF1. We are outside of the hatch risk area where you're at. In terms of damaging winds, I think we're right on the edge here. Here, let's go ahead and pull this back up. Okay, so yeah, we are in the 5% chance here as well. And then, of course, in terms of, let's see, hail as well, we also have a 5%. So we could see some hail, maybe upwards of 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter, 5% chance for that, 2% chance for tornadoes, which could be between EF0 and EF1. And, of course, we have ourselves our wind threat. We could see a potential, within some of these storms, we could see some gusts possibly upwards of 60 miles per hour or so. It is a possibility here. But anyways, what's up, Anthony? Good to see ya. Let's see. What's up, Just? Good to see you, too. Robbie says stressful day. Let's see, son on his way back from New Mexico on his current trajectory. He would arrive home around 8-ish p.m. Gotcha. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty active today here. Let's go ahead and go over the convective outlook here. So we do have a level 3 enhanced risk here for today, which does include eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, western Missouri, portions of eastern Kansas here, including like Topeka. The level 2 area includes Wichita. We have southeastern Nebraska, including Lincoln now, and southwestern Iowa, just shy of Des Moines. Now, in terms of tornado probability, we do actually not have just one. We actually now have two 10% chance areas here. One of them being up across Kansas, Missouri, and a little bit of extreme southeastern Nebraska, while the other one's for eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, and southwestern Missouri. Now, the probability for tornadoes, collectively is pretty decent, and more than likely we have a good shot at seeing a couple of tornadoes here for today overall. But yeah, 10% chance probability for tornadoes in the yellow area, a 5% chance probability in the brown, and a 2% chance here in the green. Now, you might have noticed the hatched SIG level 1 risk that we do have here in the dashed region. This is telling us that we could see potential tornado strength up to EF2. We're not expecting to see anything above EF2 for today, but, given Mother Nature, there's no way to be 100% sure on that. So we'll definitely be watching the weather today. I do plan on streaming probably later part of the event here tonight. We'll probably be streaming pretty late. This is just kind of an update for you guys to kind of show you all what's going on here. But yeah, no, we definitely do have a pretty active day, a pretty big tornado risk here overall. Now, in terms of damaging winds, we have two different probability zones. We have the 15% chance probability in the yellow, extends all the way up towards southern Wisconsin, including areas like Milwaukee, going through Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even up into northeastern portions here of Texas. So we do have that 15% wind risk here overall. So we got to look out for potential gusts upwards of 60 mile per hour or so for today. Now, the hatch risk region here, I believe that's the SIG level 1 indicates we could see some gusts. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, up to 65 miles per hour or so. I think SIG level 1 up to 65. I think SIG level 2 is up to 75, and SIG level 3 is up to 85. Or maybe it's SIG level 1 up to 75. Somebody correct me. I'm still trying to get used to this whole new system that they got going on here from the SPC. But yeah, significant damaging winds will be possible today across the dashed region. So just look out mostly between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts here overall being possible. Now, in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a big 30% chance region here across the red. This is where we're going to have the greatest probability for hail. 15% chance in the yellow and a 5% chance here in the brown. The hatch risk region says we could potentially see some hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter here for today. So we do have the potential of seeing some pretty big hail here overall. So we'll definitely be looking out there for that. So that is the risk for today. Now, the threat for severe weather extends from the dark green to the yellow and the orange regions. The light green is just a general thunderstorm risk saying, hey, couple thunderstorms possible, not supposed to be severe. However, the dark green, like we mentioned, the yellow and the orange, these are severe weather risks, which, the threat goes all the way from Texas all the way up towards Michigan. So we definitely need to look out there for those regions here as well. Let's see here. All right. See, I kind of lost my spot where I was at. All right, let's see here. What's up, Gavin? Good to see you. Saying, how is Ohio for today and tomorrow, generally the Columbus area? So Columbus is good today. Tomorrow we do have a level 2 threat here we need to look out for. We do have a 2% chance for tornadoes, strength between EF0 and EF1. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 15% chance probability for damaging wind gusts, upwards of 60 miles per hour or so. And in terms of hail, we do have a 5% chance here for hail, mostly between 1 inch and 1.5 inches in diameter, possibly. So, anyways, let's see here. What's up, Roy? Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. Saying, hey, Andrew, could I do a sounding for a zip code around 7 to 8 o'clock tonight? Absolutely. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull that up here for you. Let's see. You're up in Arkansas. Gotcha. Okay, so you're definitely in that enhanced risk area. You said between, what is it, 7 and 8? So that'd be, I'm assuming that's Central Time, so that would be 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern. So you are up in... kind of northwestern Arkansas. So according to the HRRR here, it doesn't really show a whole lot of storms firing off at that particular time. It does show your storms happening relatively overnight here for the most point. But you did request right around 7 to 8 o'clock Central. It looks like there's a bit of clearing here. I'm assuming there might be a little bit of a capping inversion or just not achieving enough lift to fire off these storms here. I mean, the environment is primed. I mean, there's tons of instability. Wind shear's nothing excessive, but it's enough. Good moisture advection, but the lower levels could have a little bit of problems for this particular hour. I don't see much convection from the HRRR around this time. However, like I said, later on into the later evening and even into the early morning of tomorrow, that's when we're likely going to have some of the strongest storms out there by your area. So definitely we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Tabletop says not trying to take anything from today, but is there a reason why Wilmington isn't in the marginal risk for Sunday? Likely kinematics here. Let's hop back over to the region here really quickly. I'm gonna make this pretty quick because we have a lot of things we do need to go over here. So for Sunday, it really just seems like the storms relatively just die out. Likely it actually could be an instability thing here. Let's pull up our MU cape for a minute. This is the most unstable cape here. Now it does show some available energy here for Saturday. From the way that it looks here, but not a lot of convection going on. Yeah, it just seems like the instability kind of runs out here for Sunday, so there's not going to be enough fuel for really storms popping off here. Anyways, let's see. Where time will storms hit Dover, Arkansas? Let me pull up Dover here. Let's bring you guys back over here for a minute. So Dover, Arkansas. We are in. Okay, so yeah, we're in the slight risk area. You may or may not have known that, but we have the storms rolling through actually pretty darn late. The HRRR here actually suggests kind of a line rolling through right around 7 a.m. or so Eastern time. So this would be right around 6 a.m. or so. Now, give or take a couple of hours in each direction because models are not perfect with timing. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they're off. But it'll be late. I mean, you'll probably be asleep. So, just make sure you have a way to receive warnings. If you have a weather radio, make sure it's on and can alert you. But it does look like we have a couple of storms that could fire off here later this evening. A few semi-discrete storms here. But then we have like a QLCS along the line of storms, a squall kind of rolling through relatively early in the morning. Something that we do need to look out there for here. So, anyways, let's see here. Ryan says HRRR run Friday 2026, 17 Zulu, forecast hour 08 sounding I'm looking at. You said 17 Zulu. Okay, forecast hour 8. Right here. You're looking at this one right here, I'm assuming. All right, let's grab a sounding. It looks like there's a lot of instability out here. Okay, so yeah, we definitely have some pretty good moisture advection. Our dew point's in the lower 60s, supplying a great amount of moisture. Really strong mid-level shear. I mean, lower level shear is pretty decent too. We got some strong veering here. Yeah, I mean, definitely is a pretty decent little sounding here. I mean, this definitely gives off vibes for potential tornadic activity for one, as well as potential hail and even damaging winds. This is a kind of a triple threat sounding here. But yeah, definitely we will, we'll be probably live around this point, maybe a little bit later. Like I said, I'm gonna try to stream as much of the nighttime as I can because nocturnal tornadoes and stuff like that are tornadoes are dangerous in general. Don't get me wrong, but not being able to see at night makes things a little bit more extreme. So I'm going to try to cover as much of the nighttime portion. I know 8 p.m. is, rolling into the night, but I'm going to cover pretty much the later part of the night here for tonight. I definitely want to be here for the later part of the event. So if you don't see me live during the main event, that's why, because I'm going to be covering the late part of the event because, there's not going to be a lot of people covering it at those hours, unfortunately, when there's still needing to be coverage here. So that's the plan. That's the plan. So, just follow local news outlets and stuff like that while I'm offline. And then, just make sure you have notifications turned on whenever I do go live. That way we can, that way I can actually help you guys throughout the night. Anyways, all right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Tornado on the ground near Bennett. Really? Hold on. Let's hop over here to radar. I'm going to hop back to one panel here. So there is a tornado on the ground, right? Oh, yeah. It is a tornado radar indicated threat here. Oh, this is going into Michigan here. Wow. Oh, yeah, that's on the ground. Yeah, Weather Service just hasn't updated that hit. Holy cow. Good eye, you guys. Good eye. I mean, I'm mostly focusing on what's going on here in the future, but yeah, that is a debris signature right there. Tight velocity couplet. There is a debris ball in CC. I got a little bit of a hook here. All right, so make sure you guys, if you know anybody here, this is in Cassopolis. I think that's how you say that. Let's see here, Vandalia, I think it is, and Mark. These are some tricky names, man. You guys can see them on the screen too. So if you know anybody out here, be sure to let them know. But yeah, lots of lightning activity going on. Edwardsburg included as well. This is for southwestern Michigan. So just a bit of a heads up for you guys. We do have a tornado that is on the ground now at this point. I'm actually surprised that they just put a radar indicated threat, even knowing. You know what? That tornado was on the ground before it was even warned. Look at that. That's a debris signature right there over that velocity couplet. Yeah, this thing was on the ground before that warning was even out. Holy cow. That's crazy. Zoe says, what time is it kicking off for McAllister, Oklahoma? I can give you a rough time. We're going to keep the radar view up so you guys can see that. That way, for the people joining in, they know where to go if there's a tornado, well, there's a tornado warning here, but they know what areas are included here. So McAllister, Oklahoma. Okay, so we're up in the eastern side. So it looks like storms will be firing off here. I mean, they could be firing off really at any time here. You're going to be seeing a kind of a bunch of scattered storms and then kind of a final line to come through. But yeah, pretty much any time now from now to later, honestly, and tomorrow morning, between now and tomorrow morning, you could see several storms here. Timing's a little iffy on the models and such, but yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But anyways, everybody, if you're just now joining, we actually do have a confirmed tornado on the ground here. The National Weather Service just has a radar indicated threat as of now, but there is 100% a tornado on the ground. Reason I know this is because we have some tight velocity couplets right here, and underneath, I should say, or overhead, we do have a debris signature here. This is a ball. So basically what's going on here is the radar is scanning the entire storm, and it notices that this all looks similar. This is just rain, similar in size and drops. But then you have the region here, and the reason we know this is like tornadic debris is because, once again, we have that, we do have that tight velocity couplet showing us that there's some heavy rotation. The green shows that the air is moving towards the radar. The red shows it moving away from the radar. But the correlation coefficient ball, or the CC ball, is right over top of it. And that's telling us that, the radar is saying, hey, this doesn't look like normal raindrops. This looks like something else. Because the radar is a dual polarization radar. It scans both on a Y and X axis. So it's scanning both height and width. And it's determining that there is a difference in the shape and size of debris as opposed to comparing it to the raindrops around it. So that is exactly why we are seeing a drop here, is because there is debris, like probably leaves or twigs or whatever, that's being sucked up by this tornado, and the radar is saying, hey, that's not normal raindrops, that's something else. So, and the fact that we have the signature right over the velocity structure there, that confirms it. That confirms that that's a tornado on the ground here. Anyways, but that is that. I'm sorry if I'm missing a lot of your guys' questions. Like I said, things just kind of turned, and we have a bit of an active situation going on here right now, so I do apologize. But we will resume whenever whenever this does get canceled for the most part. I mean, every now and then I'll hop and answer a question or two while this is ongoing, but this is going to keep most of our attention for right now because it's definitely important that we have you guys inside of your safe spots. But anyways, yeah, this includes Cassopolis. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. Vandalia, I think it is. Vandalia. I'm not too sure how you pronounce that one, but remember, this is in southwestern Michigan. And Marculus, I think it's how you, or Marcellus. I am not good with names, as you guys can probably tell. But anyways, but make sure if you know anybody out there, give them a heads up. Let them know. We'll definitely be here to cover this one here. Let's see here. Boogie says, what about Springfield, Missouri? Springfield's in a level 3 threat for today, yes. Storms will be rolling through. We could have a couple of pop-up showers and storms, this afternoon and this evening, but the main thing is going to be a line rolling through in the early overnight hours here. We will be seeing, maybe a line or two, maybe a coordination of see some storms rolling through. Oh, man, I love how you have to sneeze, and then it just goes away. But anyways, yeah, so we do have maybe a couple of lines according to the HRRR here. But anyways. All right, so once again, everybody, we do have a tornado on the ground here. Got a nice little hook echo here on our reflectivity scan. So we do have a lot of that warm inflow piling up into the storm here, as well as we do have that rear flank downdraft on the back end of the storm. So this rear flank downdraft is cold air coming down from the upper part of the storm, reaching the surface and wrapping back in. And actually, we do have this, this warm air it's actually the inflow here. This is pulling into the storm, and we are having that rotation right underneath here. But yeah, we do have a tornado that is on the ground here. It seems like the last several scans here showed a classic debris signature there. And there's a second frame, the third frame. Now, the latest frame, I'm not sure if this thing's still on the ground, although we should definitely treat it as it is. But I will tell you this, the correlation coefficient has kind of scattered. I'm thinking that this is pre-existing debris that was in the air from previous scans. It doesn't look like it's a fresh scan yet. It looks like velocity might be getting a little disrupted here. It's a good sign, but remember, these things can actually recycle. So we do need to look out for that. It is a possibility. But we still need you guys in your shelter regardless. I mean, the hook, honestly, arguably looks better than it did a few scans back. But, that could be an indicator that, the storm might be trying to recycle or whatever. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll definitely will. But this does include the Vandalia area. I think that's how you pronounce that. This is tracking relatively to the northeast here. If we do look overhead, I hate to do this, but we're going to have to look over and kind of see where these debris signatures were. Let's see. It appears it's mostly farmland, but there is definitely some houses. There's definitely some houses around the area. So I pray that they are okay out there. That was definitely crazy. I hope that they got the warning, because I hate to say it, but they didn't have the warning before this thing was already on the ground. I mean, this particular scan here literally shows that there was a tornado on the ground here. Velocity and the CC confirms it, but at this point in time, there wasn't a warning. And unfortunately, there was some houses nearby that could have been impacted by that. So I just hope that they're okay out there. Hope everything is fine. But yeah, I mean, then of course it continued northeast here. Still is a dangerous storm. Definitely still need to be in our safe spots. Classic hook echo here, classic signature still showing itself. So, anyways, all right, let's see here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Sorry if I'm skipping anybody's questions. I'm not intentionally skipping. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm also trying to focus on this too. So, but anyways, let's see here. Yeah, Vienna, it is on the ground. All right, let's see here. Cole says best weatherman on YouTube. I don't know about that, but I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I try to do my best in terms of helping you guys out. So, let's see. Hey, Andrew, can you tell what direction the storm's moving? Do I think there's a chance Three Rivers gets hit? The storm is moving northeast. Movement is at northeast at 35 miles per hour. Let's see here. Let me pull up Three Rivers, because I'm not entirely too familiar with that region. Okay, so Three Rivers, I think is... What is that? Is that east of this storm here? I'm pretty sure. Here, let me pull it up again real quickly. Three Rivers, Michigan. Okay, so, actually, you know what? Three Rivers is over here. The storm should, if it remains on a relative linear trajectory, it should just remain northwest. Although it is tracking in that general direction. Yeah, Three Rivers definitely needs to watch this. These things can move around a bit too. Yeah, I would recommend. I mean, obviously, there's no need to be in shelter right now if you're in Three Rivers, but I would consider watching it, because I mean the storm is tracking in the general direction. So I mean, it's definitely something you should keep an eye on for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, no need to go to shelter yet. It still is a little ways away out. You can see there's Three Rivers right here. The storm is still, or the tornadic part of the storm is still a little far away, but we'll keep you updated if that does change. Let's see here. Molly wants to know if Carrollton, Texas, will see a strong tornado. So the odds of Carrollton, seeing a tornado, I mean, specifically that area seeing a tornado is pretty low. You do have a slight level 2 risk here for today, which includes a 5% chance for tornadoes. So the way that works is that within a 25-mile radius of you, there is a 5% chance of a tornado dropping within that radius. Not even specifically you, but just around you. 5% chance here, and the odds of that happening is still pretty low. But they do have you in a hatch risk here, SIG level 1, which means that we could potentially see tornadic strength upwards of EF2. So basically EF0 to EF2 storm tornado potential in terms of strength here. Now, obviously, nature can be crazy. We can't confirm it will stay within those thresholds, but more than likely, it's expected to remain between EF0 and EF2 in terms of strength if they were to occur, which 5% chance for you. All right, let's see here. Really? That's terrible, Sewing. That is terrible. Sarah wants to look, let's see, for Cadillac, Michigan for tonight. Yep, I got you. Let me pull this up real quickly, and then we'll get back into that warning, okay? So Cadillac's actually, yeah, we are in a level 1 threat for today, so a marginal risk here. We are right on the edge of that tornado risk, matter of fact. So the odds of you getting tornadoes are pretty low. 5% chance for gusty winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour or so. And in terms of hail, we do have a 5% chance as well. So relatively low in probability. There is a chance we could see some strong to potentially severe storms here for today. All right, let's see here. Calvin back at it with the capping inversion question. Well, Houston, I'm just going to tell you this, man. So Houston does have a threat for tomorrow. The cap is expected to break eventually. As diurnal heating happens, you get the surface heating up, usually in most cases can break the cap, in which, obviously the fact we are in the risk here tells us that we are expecting storms to convect in that area. So, that's that. But I can't really pull it up on the models right now. I mean, we're mostly focusing on this tornado warning at the moment. But anyways, y'all, so tornado warning still in effect, southwestern Michigan. This does include the areas here of Vandalia, I think it is. They are likely getting maybe a bit of heavy rain and some hail right now. It looks like they are just in the forward flank downdraft of this particular storm here. Pretty soon they will be exiting the precipitation core, and they will be on the back side of it. However, like I mentioned, other areas includes Marcellus, I think that's how you might pronounce that. This area here is remaining in some relatively light to moderate precipitation. The tornadic part of the storm more than likely will just pass south of them. They just actually updated the warning to cancel Edwardsburg as they are far away from the tornadic part of the storm. Same thing for Cassopolis. You guys are no longer in the warning. However, we do still have the Vandalia area as well as the Marcellus, or however you pronounce this area. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Velocity looks a lot more broad than it did before. Actually, you know what? There's this little pixel here. That's where the rotation is. As a matter of fact, I'm not confirming if it's on the ground again, but there is definitely a little bit of rotation still going on with that storm there. I mean, look how tight that velocity couplet was a little bit ago. And looking at where it is now, you can kind of see that. I mean, it's just a few little pixels that's rotating still. But I'm hoping that the storm will, die out here pretty soon here. But anyways, but still, tornado warning in effect. We still need to be in our safe spots here. Let's see here. Boogie says, let's see, I was asking about the tornado risk in Springfield. Springfield, Missouri? Sarah says, thank you so much. No problem. You're very welcome. Ryan says Kansas City has a new mesoscale discussion that will be added to 10% significant tornado risk tonight. Gotcha. Surprise, tornado warning storm in Michigan, not in the risk for severe weather. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can have, believe it or not, actually this area is in, I believe, the 2% chance, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm that real quickly. Yeah, it is in the 2% chance. So, I mean, they are in a tornado risk. It's not the main risk area, but it is included in the risk here. But sometimes you can get storms and severe storms that happens outside of the risk area. Generally speaking, typically most of the severe weather is within those parameters of the outlook area. But sometimes, sometimes you can get some storms outside of the risk area, and it's definitely possible. I've seen it happen many, many times. Absolutely. But anyways, guys, I will be answering questions if y'all have any. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a thing just kind of popped up here. The storm just kind of came out of nowhere here. But we'll still be keeping an eye on it. This warning only has 12 more minutes left until it does get expired, and then we'll go back to fully, asking questions or answering questions and stuff. Teresa says, what is it looking like for a zip code? Yep, I got you real quickly. Let's go and pull this up here. You, my friend, are in... Okay, we are in the level 2 threat here for today, so we do have a slight risk, a level 2 for you. In terms of tornado probability, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes. Potential strength of tornadoes could be between EF0 and EF2. That's why we have a SIG level 1 risk here. But a 5% chance probability of you seeing a tornado within a 25-mile radius around you. Odds are pretty low, but the threat is still there, and we do need to watch out for it. Now, in terms of damaging winds, a little bit greater of a probability. We have a 15% chance probability here for damaging wind gusts, potentially upwards of 60 miles per hour or so. And in terms of hail, we also do have a 15% chance probability here for hail, which we could see between mostly 1 and 2 inches in diameter here. So, anyways, let's see here. See, I know we're getting storms, just not sure if the 10% was a tornado risk. Sorry if I misunderstood. No, you're good. So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about Springfield, Missouri, Springfield is actually right on the edge, actually of that. Here, let's bring that back up. Right on the edge, actually, of that 10 and that 5% chance for tornadoes here. If you're talking about Springfield, Missouri, that is. Springfield, Illinois, which I don't think you're talking about, but Springfield, Illinois has a 2% chance here out of the event. Let's see here. A tornado's hanging on for dear life. Yeah, it definitely is showing some signs that it's a little bit weaker than it was earlier, which is good, but like I said before, guys, I don't care if it's a tornado confirmed or if it's a radar indicated threat. We still need to be in the same part of our house. We still need to be in our shelter. Once again, if you have a basement, a storm shelter, obviously go there. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home, as well as, say if you're in a trailer or a mobile home, just ditch the mobile home, go find a sturdier structure. Honestly, laying flat in a ditch would be a better thing than remaining in a mobile home during a tornado. It's not safe. The mobile homes and trailers, they do not provide any protection against tornadoes, unfortunately. So definitely would go recommend, or I heavily recommend that you go find somewhere, more structurally there. It has a stronger structure to it. But anyways, we still have that tornado warning in effect. Looks like the precipitation core has just rolled through the Vandalia area. The tornadic part of the storm is just southeast of Vandalia. It looks like that mesocyclone, right where we have that rotating disc where the tornado would likely be, is starting to kind of push outside of the warning, the polygon there. So wouldn't be surprised if maybe they extend that a little bit further east here. We'll have to see. Velocity at this point is pretty broad. I mean, we did have some really tight rotation there a little bit ago. Now it's become pretty broad. I mean, it's still rotating, but it's rotating. The rotation's much bigger. Now, some of you guys might think that bigger rotation is worse, but not really. You really want that to kind of tighten up to have a tornado. But in terms of on CC, I mean, I'm not seeing any more debris signatures here as of right now, as opposed to earlier. We did have very obvious debris signatures here. And, in the latest scan here, I'm not really seeing too much. There is a good possibility. I mean, it could still be on the ground. It is definitely possible. But, like I said, we still need to be in the same spot. Still need to be in our same spot here, being in our safe spot in general. All right. Let's see here. Welcome, Teresa. No problem. Let's see here. Starshine says, "Hey Drew, can we look at the weather / storm watches and warnings for Dallas area?" Yeah, I can do that real quick for you. We don't have any active warnings or watches for the Dallas area, I'll tell you that. However, we do have a threat here for today. Dallas area is in a level 2 slight risk here for today, overall. You wanted to go over the storm watches and the warnings and just the general weather, I'm assuming. So we do have it depends what part of the Dallas area you're in, because you can kind of see it's divided up differently. Fort Worth, Dallas area, 2% chance. Then you go up to the north out by like Carrollton, you have a 5% chance. So it's different for every area. It just depends where you're at specifically. But in terms of damaging winds, it's pretty separated as well. And of course, in terms of hail, we do have mostly a 15% chance here for that. So, anyways, Samuel, I'm not sure if that will be included, but I think it is a possibility that the Three Rivers areas might be potentially included in a new warning or something. It just depends on how the storm continues. I mean, it has a decent little hook on it still. I mean, it's definitely definitely trying. Like I said, the velocity though, it's a little bit iffy. I mean, it's definitely become much more broad than it was earlier. It's changed quite a bit. Actively not seeing anything on debris signatures either. So I mean, nothing confirmed as of right now from what I'm seeing. But once again, still need to be in your safe spot here. But the original warning does expire in about 6 minutes. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Three Rivers area should definitely monitor this storm here. We should definitely keep an eye on it. But yeah, we'll definitely just be watching this here for the next little bit. Anyways, let's see here. Carrot says yesterday the supercell hanged on for dear life to sell was hanging. Yeah, it was. It definitely was. What's up, Nate? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. But anyways, guys, so we'll keep an eye on it. If there's any questions you guys have about today's severe weather event, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. If y'all have any questions about the general risk area, what we can expect for today. Matter of fact, they actually just issued a new tornado warning for the Three Rivers area. They sure did. I had a feeling they might. I had a feeling that they might. Yeah. So that now includes it. It hasn't popped up on this particular program yet, but it will show up very shortly, including Centerville, including Three Rivers, and there it is, right there. Perfect. So there is the new warning. Let's see, tornado and quarter-size hail. All right, so Three Rivers, Michigan needs to be in their shelters now. So heads up to Three Rivers, Michigan, Centerville. By the way, if you guys could help share this, it would be much appreciated because the more people that we can reach, the more potential lives we can help out. Definitely need you guys to be in your safe spots. I mean, this is a very dangerous situation. It is life-threatening, and so the more we can get it out there, the more we can help you guys out. It would be much appreciated. Let's see here. New tornado warning. Yeah. We were just looking at that a minute ago. So, just a bit of a heads up to you guys. Once again, Three Rivers and Centerville now included in that. See, I think it's trying for a new air rotation. It's very hard to tell. The reflectivity, I mean, looking at the general structure, I mean, it looks pretty decent. I mean, it's classic hook echo there. I mean, look at that. That thing is classic signature. But yeah, the velocity appears to be pretty interesting looking. I mean, it's very, very turbulent, but relatively broad, more than likely. It's kind of hard to see. We're starting to miss some data there. Definitely not as tight as it was earlier, per se, back during this scan particularly. But yeah, well, definitely still a very dangerous storm here. But just a bit of a heads up there for you guys. I do want to hop y'all back over here to the models for a little bit. So for today, we're going to be starting to see some storms firing off, all over the place here over the next couple of hours. I mean, according to the HRRR here, we could start to see some storms firing off here very soon. I mean, we're already starting to see that, up here in Michigan that we're looking at right now. But we do have quite a bunch of scattered convection, quite a bit of, scattered storms, a couple of which, could be severe, absolutely. But then later on tonight, we do kind of develop a squall line, kind of a long line of storms here that eventually will kind of come through and sweep up the rest, of the instability and, use it up and stuff like that. So for today, it's going to start out relatively just a bunch of scattered, strong to severe storms, and then eventually it will just become one big line, as you can kind of see here later on. Definitely is going to be quite the event. And then, of course, we go into, tomorrow morning. I mean, this is showing 10 a.m., and we still likely have a pretty decent line extending all the way up from northeastern Texas, cutting up through Arkansas, up through like southern Missouri, southern Indiana. I mean, definitely is going to be likely a pretty strong line still at that point, and that'll continue to the southeast here. A lot of it should be mostly over by Sunday, but Sunday we do have a little bit of a severe weather threat here for bits of the Mid-Atlantic here overall. So, anyways, but that is that. So we'll definitely be on the lookout here for today. Like I was mentioning earlier, we're going to definitely cover a lot of the later part of the event, for later on today. we'll definitely be covering a lot of the nighttime portion here overall. Anyways, hopping back to the tornado warning, guys. We do have a tornado warning in effect, including the Three Rivers area, also including Centerville. Bit of a heads up for you guys. We do have a tornado warning in effect here for the next 32 minutes. New warning has been issued not too long ago. I will tell you this, though. For the Vandalia area, they have canceled the warning, so we are no longer in the tornado warning out there. However, this is in effect here, once again, for Three Rivers and Centerville area. So a bit of a heads up there for you guys. We'll definitely be watching this here, pretty closely. I mean, it is tracking in the general direction of Three Rivers, in which definitely need you guys to be in your shelter. If you know anybody out there in the Three Rivers area, give them a heads up. Let them know that they need to be in their safe spot, because we do have a tornado warning cell here, the classic hook echo here, starting to roll towards the region. So looking at the CC, there's a lot of contamination going on here in these particular scans here overall, so it's making it a little bit iffy. If there was a tornado, it would be on this part, right, particularly right here. There might be definitely a little bit of rotation going on in that, but I do not really see much of anything that screams a debris signature here, other than the little bit of contamination that we do have here on the radar scan. But definitely we will keep a close eye on that. Oh, look at that. Wow. So that's where your mesocyclone would be, right here. Looking at the latest scan. Let's see. Latest CC. I do not see anything as of right now. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see here. I got you, Vienna. Yeah. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are reporting on it. I'm sure a lot of people are reporting on this. Which is good. Get the word out there. But anyways, let's hop on back over here to the models for a moment. So yeah, for today, I mean, we have a pretty decent setup here overall. In terms of instability, we have a great amount of unstable air here in place here for today. In terms of the the moisture, looking at our dew point here, we do have a pretty good amount of moisture here. I mean, we're mostly talking dew points well in the lower to even mid 60s here for today, as we do have a bunch of storms firing off. And you can kind of see this cold front come through. So basically, we're getting this much cooler, much drier air mass that's kind of pushing down from up north. And essentially we have a lot of that warm air that's pulling up from the Gulf, supplying a lot of warmth and supplying a lot of moisture here, which, is contributing to the whole event here. The cold air coming back down on the backside, is interacting, with the warm air that's coming up here, creating steep lapse rates and allowing for, some instability to be present, of course. So definitely is quite a decent environment here for these storms here overall. Once again, dew points here in the lower to even mid 60s up towards the Midwest, and even down towards the Gulf Coast. We might even be seeing some dew points here in the upper 60s, maybe even lower 70s. So tons and tons of moisture is available here, across the region. Now, one of the big things that's really kind of kicking up, severe weather and stuff like that for today, is we do have, a pretty decent lower level jet here. As you can kind of see, as we approach our way later on into the evening and overnight hours, we do have a pretty strong lower level jet. This is winds about 4,000 feet up. These winds are pretty darn strong, across the Midwest and everything. And these winds are kind of moving relatively to the northeast. Now, if we go up, so that's about 4,000 feet up, so moving at about 40 to 50 knots or so. If we go up to about 10,000 feet, so we go up a little bit higher up into altitude, one thing that you are going to notice is that the winds are actually slightly more to the northeast. There's a little bit of a change in wind direction here, which is going to allow for that veering profile to be present. We can really actually compare that with the 925 millibar wind speed, which is pretty low to the ground, pretty shallow, only about a couple thousand feet up here, in which you can see the difference between the arrows that we did have. So there is some veering wind shear going on here. Telling us that we have potential for our lower levels to be potentially rotating out of some of these storms here. So definitely, some pretty good wind shear for today. Good moisture, like we mentioned, no instability and stuff. If we pull up our mixed layer cape, I mean, we do have a pretty good amount of instability here, at play. So we'll definitely be looking out for that. And some of the heaviest of the instability, some of the heaviest values is for portions like Kansas, Oklahoma, towards the plains, a little bit out there by the Ohio Valley as well. But we do have some pockets, of some higher and lower instability, throughout the environment here. So some localized storms could be stronger than others. So that's something that we need to look out for. Let's see here. Sewing says we're under a tornado watch. Are you? Here, let's bring up our current warnings, watches, and advisories. Oh, yeah. It looks like we do have... Yep, we do have a tornado watch in effect. Let's bring you guys over to that real quickly. So, tornado watch in effect for the Dallas-Fort Worth area up here in northeastern Texas here. Tornado watch in effect for the next 7 hours. This also does include central and eastern Oklahoma. So, heads up to you guys. Tornado watch is in effect here. So we definitely need to look out for that. Probabilities, probability of 2 or more tornadoes is a moderate 50% chance on this watch. Probability of 1 or more tornado EF2 to EF5, moderate 40% chance probability. In terms of damaging winds, 10 or more severe wind events, moderate 40%. Probability of 1 or more exceeding 75 miles per hour, 20%, relatively low. In terms of 10 or more severe hail events, 60%. 1 or more hailstones of basically potentially greater than 2 inches, 50%. So good possibility. And the probability of 10 or more severe hail events, high, 90% chance. So, like we mentioned, this kind of environment is capable of all hazards. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, everything's on the table here for today. But yeah, we do have ourselves a tornado watch in effect for central eastern Oklahoma once again, as well as northeastern Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Oklahoma City, Norman, including the areas out by Tulsa as well. So a bit of a heads up for you guys out there as we now have a tornado watch in effect. Now, speaking of tornadoes, we still have that tornado warning in effect here for southwest Michigan out here by St. Joseph County. Including the Three Rivers and Centerville area. Looking at the velocity real quickly, definitely is quite noisy, quite messy, but we definitely do have a classic hook signature here, classic hook echo. This is a dangerous storm, relatively dangerous storm, in which we do need the people in the Three Rivers area as well as Centerville to be in their safe spot. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, go there now. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. And if you're in a mobile home or a trailer, exit there and go find a sturdier structure here. But once again, this is in effect actually for the next 24 minutes. So we still have a little bit to go on this particular warning here overall. But as of now, it is a radar indicated threat. So it's just a radar indicated rotation, meaning that the radar has detected rotation. No confirmations of it yet. This thing does indeed, though, have the history of producing tornadoes. So definitely keeping a close eye on that storm here. But like I said, I don't care if it's confirmed or if it's radar indicated. We do need you guys to be, in your safe spots here regardless. We do need you to be in your safe spots regardless. Confirmed or not, you still need to be in the same spot. How is East Michigan for tonight? So we do have a severe threat for all of Michigan for the most part. If we do hop over here to the day one outlook, we'll bring you over here real quickly. Eastern Michigan is in a level 1 marginal risk here. For tornado probability, it does extend all the way towards Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Mount Pleasant, Lansing, Grand Rapids. These areas are all in a 2% chance for tornadoes. The only area that's really not in the tornado threat for Michigan is the northern side here of the state. But we also do have ourselves a 5% wind threat here as well. And, of course, we do have ourselves a 5% hail threat for the most part as well. So mainly a damaging wind and hail threat, but a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out here overall. So definitely we'll keep an eye out there for that. Anyway, so that is what's going on there. Here, let's hop our way back over to that tornado warning. So once again, heads up towards Three Rivers, Michigan. We do need you guys inside of your safe spots out here. Same thing for Centerville. So Three Rivers and Centerville area, we do need you guys inside of your safe spots here. Once again, this is a tornado warning that's in effect for the next 22 minutes. So heads up to you guys. We still do have a little bit of time on this storm here before it does get expired. It definitely looks like there is some rotation that is trying, or that's still, trying to kick off here, but it's a little bit contaminated. The radar view looks a little bit iffy. Most of the velocities are actually kind of in this general area, which is interesting, but definitely do have a little bit of rotation still definitely going on within this storm. Nothing on correlation coefficient yet, just a lot of contamination here. But we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on this. But, once again, it comes back to the point of I don't care if it's, radar confirmed, radar indicated, there's a warning in place, and you need to be in your safe spot here. You need to be in your safe spot. But yeah, we'll definitely be watching it. It looks like that tornadic part of the storm is actually right over the Three Rivers area right now. So if you guys know anybody out in Three Rivers, Michigan, give them a heads up right now. Tell them they need to be in their safe spot. We now have a confirmed tornado. Uh-oh. They put a PDS on that. Hazard, damaging tornado, source radar indicated rotation. This is a particularly dangerous situation. So it's still radar indicated. It's not confirmed by radar or by personnel, but it's such a drastic situation here, with this classic hook. More than likely, we do have a tornado on the ground. It's just radar is having a hard time picking it up, more than likely. I mean, and this is over some pretty populated areas, too. I mean, Three Rivers, there's quite a bit of... quite a bit of homes and all that stuff out here. So heads up to you guys. Once again, PDS tornado warning. It stands for particularly dangerous situation. Is unfolding out here by the Three Rivers area as well as Centerville. Heads up to you guys. Make sure you are in your shelters. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, go there now. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home, such as an interior closet or a bathroom. And if you're in a mobile home, ditch the mobile home. Go find a sturdier structure right now. Make sure that you guys are in your safe spots here. Make sure y'all are in your safe spots here. But anyways, like I said, the radar, the velocity and the correlation coefficient products right now are very contaminated. They are very nasty looking. So definitely do need you guys to be inside of your safe spots. Regardless, it doesn't matter if it's confirmed or not. Still need you to be there, guys. Still need you all to be there. Now, one thing I'm wondering here. I mean, this thing might be on the ground, actually. So sometimes you can get debris showing up on reflectivity. It's kind of a ball right where that mesocyclone is. But if you look at, like I said, the product is so messy right now. So messy. There's a lot of contamination going on here. I mean, there really is a good shot that this thing's on the ground right now. There really is. But like I said, same thing remains. Three Rivers, Michigan, you need to be in your shelter right now. Same thing for Centerville. But the way that it looks, that hook should just pass northwest of Centerville. But we still do need Centerville in the shelter as well. Both of you guys all in Centerville as well as Three Rivers. It's the tornadic part of the storm right now is over Three Rivers at the moment. I mean, it is right over Three Rivers right now. I mean, like I said, there is a really good likelihood that this thing is on the ground right now, going through a pretty populated city here. It's very dense with homes, which I just hope that everybody got the warning, and I hope that everybody is okay out here. But like I said, just please be in your safe spot. If you know anybody in Three Rivers, give them a call right now and urge them to go in their shelter. It looks like the Three Rivers area is starting to kind of get pushed into the rear flank downdraft of the storm. The cooler air on the backside. Actually, it's out here by the airport right now. The airport out by Three Rivers, it looks like that's kind of where that mesocyclone is. So this right here, this is the dangerous part of the storm. It is right next to the airport here. Let's see here. Yeah, you guys, please be careful out there. But yeah, we'll definitely keep a close eye on this here. We still have 17 minutes here on the warning. So this is from the National Weather Service. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard, damaging tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. A tornado will be near Three Rivers and Centerville around 3:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Moore Park, Fishers Lake, Nottawa, and Wasippi. I have no idea how you pronounce that one. But anyways, to repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is developing. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Once again, this is a tornado that is likely on the ground out here by the Three Rivers area in southwest Michigan. This thing does, in fact, have the history of producing tornadoes. We actually have some new tornado reports coming through here. Trees reported down over in this particular area. House damage over here. This is out by Edwardsburg from earlier from this particular storm. And this thing is definitely still dangerous. Looking at the velocity here, you know, like I said, it's very contaminated, but that very well could even be debris right in there. It's really hard to say. It really is. But that could be some debris right there. The velocity is right over top of it. You know, we have the general mesocyclone right here. It all lines up. It does. So that very well could be tornadic debris being detected here. But like I mentioned, this is actually right over the airport. Literally right over the airport right now. There is a good possibility that there is a tornado riding against the runway of this airport right now. So I just hope that everybody got out of the area. I hope that everybody's okay. There is, unfortunately, some houses all around here, too. That is, we do have a Mesonet station right here, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that and see if we do get some data coming through. That would be quite interesting to see, say the least. But you guys, please be careful out there. You know, like I said, we're going to be here to keep you guys up to date with everything during the storm. So let's see here. We're going to, we have a new scan, I think that just came through. Yep, so it's still right. Okay, there it is, right there. So that velocity couplet went right over the airport. It is right here. If we go ahead and pull up where this is at. So now it's in kind of the woods area. There's a couple houses out here, unfortunately. Let's see, those houses might have caused the debris. I hope not. I really hope not, because yeah, I mean there is quite a few homes out here, unfortunately. Very dangerous situation going on here. Very dangerous situation. I mean, you could definitely see where that rotation is, right in here. Holy cow. So Three Rivers, Michigan, not Texas. No, this is in Michigan. Yeah, this is up in St. Joseph County, Michigan. If you guys know where that's at, this is where that's at. But yeah, no, this is not Texas. This is for Michigan. You can see the state of Michigan here. This is southwest Michigan. The tornado warning is in effect for Centerville and Three Rivers. There is a pretty good probability that Minden, Michigan, is probably getting ready to be added to a tornado warning here. More than likely, you know, given the state of which the storm is in now, I would assume that they're probably going to extend this warning into Minden, Michigan. So if you know anybody out there in Minden, Michigan, give them a heads up, because there is a good chance that we could see a tornado warning probably coming pretty soon. Definitely got some really strong echoes being reflected here. Yeah, this is 70 dBz on reflectivity. That is likely some hail going on in the storm too. They do have max hail on the storm at 1 inch, but there is a good potential that we could see some, you know, some pretty decent hail in that. There is injuries reported. Oh gosh. I hope everybody is okay. Here, let me bring up SPC. Where did you find that out from? Goodness, dude. What a mess. What a mess, dude. But anyways, once again, everybody, heads up for the storm. Once again, this is coming right towards Mendon, Michigan now. There is not a tornado warning in effect yet for Mendon, but like I said, I'm assuming that pretty soon we're probably going to have one. Just still kind of given the state of the storm here. I mean, there is definitely still some rotation going on within the storm. Tons and tons of contamination, though, on the radar view here. But anyways, yeah, so once again, everybody, we do have about 11 minutes left on this particular warning here. This is a direct text from the National Weather Service here. So at 3:52 p.m. Eastern Time, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over the Three Rivers moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard: damaging tornado. Source: radar indicated rotation. You're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelters. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damages to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. We actually just got word that we now have a new extension on that tornado warning, including the Mendon area. I had a feeling they were getting ready to do that. So heads up to you guys. It is observed now, apparently. Hold on a minute. So emergency management confirmed tornado. It has indeed been confirmed now that it is on the ground. Holy cow, dude. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really doubt it, honestly. I mean, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of contamination on the radar here, but there's, yeah. Definitely am not surprised of the fact that it actually is on the ground. But yeah, this is heading right towards Mendon, Michigan. Heads up to you guys. This thing is on the ground here. Let's look at the latest text that they said here. They did change it up a bit. So, tornado warning for northeastern St. Joseph County and southwestern Michigan, northwestern Branch County and southwestern Michigan until 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 4:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is located near Centerville or near Three Rivers, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Reports of damage has been received in Three Rivers. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard: damaging tornado. Source: emergency management confirmed tornado. Impact: you're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. This tornadic thunderstorm will remain mainly over rural areas of northern St. Joseph and northwestern Branch counties, including the following locations: Mendon, Leonidas. That sounds like a disease. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know how you say this. Anyways, Fisher Lake as well as Sherwood. Particularly dangerous to repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. So please, guys, make sure you guys are inside of your safe spot here. This does include the Mendon area. So this thing is definitely a very, very nasty storm. It is a very dangerous storm. It is confirmed, and it is tracking right towards Mendon in southwestern Michigan here. So heads up to you guys. Please be careful. Let's see. You got some cells firing off in Oklahoma. I got you. Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on those too. I do want to bring it up on the radar over here real quickly though. Let's do that real fast. Then we got to get back to these storms. Let's see. You're pulling up the latest MRMS. Yeah, we do have a couple of. Let's pull it up. We do have a couple of cells that is absolutely starting to fire off here, towards the lower portion of Oklahoma. You can definitely see those definitely starting to fire off here. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. But at the moment, these guys, these are the ones that we got to really look out for. Once again, if you guys are just now tuning in, we do actually have a confirmed tornado on the ground and reports of injuries and damage here in southwestern Michigan. We do have a confirmed tornado on the ground out there by Mendon, which is southwestern Michigan here. So heads up to you guys. Twilight says, "Where's this tornado? Minden, Southwest Michigan." Yes, it is in Minden, right around Minden area. So this right here, this is the tornadic part of the storm. It actually just went straight through Three Rivers area. I do want to pull up the Three Rivers mesonet here. Rivers Airport mesonet. Hopefully, I can. Here we go, Three Rivers. I'm trying to see if we can pull up some weather data on this thing. Hold on a minute, you guys. See if we can't maybe see any data, because that tornado likely went right over the runway there. I'm not seeing any data yet. Hold on a minute. Trying to see if we can't maybe pull this up here. Here, let me bring this over here for a minute, y'all. I'm just trying to see if we have any data coming through from that storm. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much information here. Well, I'll let you guys know if I do find anything, though. Let's see here. Free thinking. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. I really, really appreciate it. Saying, hey Andrew, this is why I really only trust you for my weather. You spot things ahead of time. Thank you for caring. You're very welcome, Free Thinking. Thank you seriously so much for the 5. I really appreciate it, my friend. That helps me out a ton. So thank you seriously so much for that. But heads up, everybody, once again, if you're just tuning in, we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground here. This is a particularly dangerous situation in southwestern Michigan, including the Minden area. If you're in Minden, make sure you need to be in your safe spot. We've been tracking this for quite a while now. I mean, this thing is relatively a long track system. I mean, we were here since it produced tornadoes out by Edwardsburg. I mean, this thing's pretty tornadic overall. I mean, it's a discrete cell. It's in its own environment here. But this is a confirmed tornado on the ground here out there by Minden. It just literally went straight through Three Rivers here just a couple moments ago. I really hope that everybody out there is okay. But there has indeed been some reports of damage in Three Rivers from the National Weather Service here. So definitely is quite a nasty storm here. Hopping back over to CC, like I mentioned, as well as velocity, the data that's coming in is very corrupted here for the most part. It's kind of hard to see what truly is going on in the storm here. This is actually the radar that we have up in northern Indiana, out there by North Webster. We are a little bit of a ways away from the storm, so it's a little bit difficult. To kind of see what truly is going on there. But reports from emergency management has indeed confirmed this tornado here. So this thing is definitely on the ground. It is actively a problem for these areas here. So once again, Minden here in southwestern Michigan, you guys are in a tornado warning. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of the text here from the National Weather Service here. So as of 4:03 p.m. Eastern Time, so this was 7 minutes ago, as of 4:03 p.m. Eastern Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is located near Centerville or near Three Rivers, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Here's where the damage report comes in. Reports of damage have been received in Three Rivers. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard, damaging tornado, source, emergency management, confirmed tornado, impact, you're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. This tornadic thunderstorm will remain mainly over rural areas of northeastern St. Joseph and northwestern Branch counties, including the following locations: Minden, the weird area I do not know how to pronounce, Fisher Lake, and Sherwood. You guys can see it on here as well. It's like Leonidas. I'm not too sure how you say that one, to be honest with you. But anyways, to repeat, a large and extremely dangerous tornado, to repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Anyway, so please be careful out there, guys. Let's see, a large wall cloud been reported. Yeah, I'm not surprised, really. I'm really not. Free thinking, tropical storm team for 8 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Saying anytime. Stay safe, everyone. Really appreciate the support. Free thinking that goes a long way, and it helps me out a ton. So seriously, thank you so much. I really truly do appreciate it. So seriously, thank you for that. It's greatly appreciated. So the Minden area, yeah, definitely. That's where the storm is at now. Over here by Minden, you can actually see that forward flank downdraft on this particular storm here. You got a pretty decent little hail core. These areas are likely seeing probably some pretty big hail. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning that got issued for portions of that storm. For maximum hail size up to 1.75 inches in diameter, which is golf ball size hail overall. What's up, Glenn Rose? Good to see ya. Saying hi. I've been worried about that storm next week. How bad does it look for Eastern Tennessee on Wednesday? That is a bit far-fetched, but I think the SPC does have a risk for some of those areas here. Let's quickly hop back here. I mean, we do have a tornado situation going on right now, so I can't take too long on this. But if we do hop over to, let's say, day 6, we do have a risk here for portions of Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and bits of Mississippi. Day 7, we don't have anything, and then, of course, day 8, we do not have anything either. As of right now, Tennessee, East Tennessee is not in any of the risk here from the SPC. However, I will tell you this, though. Coming up here for tomorrow, we do actually have a level 1 marginal risk here for Eastern Tennessee, which includes actually not a tornado threat at all. We do have a 5% wind threat and that's really it, actually, just a little bit of a wind threat out there. But anyways, we're going to hop back to the tornado warning here because, I mean, this is currently a bit of a problem happening at the moment. But, yeah, nothing really to worry about right now. I wouldn't worry about it. The only thing the SPC does have is the marginal risk here for tomorrow. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it, and I'll let you know if there's any changes. So just stay tuned to the stream and, over the next couple of days, and I'll let you know if there's anything going on. But anyways, so like I said, you guys, if you're just now tuning in, we do have a particularly dangerous situation going on at the moment. We do have a confirmed tornado located out by Minden and southwestern portions of Michigan. This did roll straight through the Three Rivers area. Numerous reports of significant damage on the southwest side of Three Rivers. Storm chasers and emergency management confirmed multiple tornado touchdowns prior to the damage. Holy cow, dude. I really hope we got the word out for Three Rivers. We've been tracking this thing for quite a while, and we've been telling you guys out by Three Rivers that we need to be in our safe spots. I really hope that everybody is okay out here. But there has been reports of significant damage, unfortunately. So I really, really hope that everybody's okay out there. But we still do have this tornado warning in effect for about 14 more minutes, which, once again, it is still confirmed on the ground here. I do want to bring up our velocity product. Actually, let's see here. Yeah, you can see kind of some rotation here, but maybe the reflectivity hasn't updated yet or something. Anyways, it definitely still is quite a damaging storm here, quite a dangerous storm in general. No, Master, this is southwestern Michigan. See, but considering that the slight risk is west of me, I probably won't be in it like the main risk on Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, I'd have to do some deep model analysis, which I really can't do at the moment. If you hang on for a little bit, once this tornado warning expires, then I could do a little bit more of an in-depth thing. It just takes a minute for me to do such, and I kind of need to be right here with the storm and telling you guys where it's going. But it is, this is tracking towards the Athens and Sherwood area of southwestern Michigan. You guys specifically are not in the warning yet. It is a possibility that they could extend this warning in the future. So we'll have to see, but we'll definitely keep a close eye on it here. Let's see here. When was this data here? Yeah, I mean, we're still seeing we're not really seeing any new data coming through from that Mesonet station. I wonder if it got knocked offline. Let's see here. Vienna says, could this hypothetically come to East Michigan like the storm, not tornado? I mean, the threat for tornadoes does extend into East Michigan. I mean, it is definitely possible we could see a couple isolated tornadic cells out here. The risk is the same where this tornado warning is, as well as it is for Eastern Michigan. But not everybody will see a tornado, obviously. You know, it's not guaranteed that we will. But it is possible. It is possible that we could see some tornadic activity out there here for today. At the moment, there really isn't any convection going on in Eastern Michigan at the moment. Yeah, this is mostly just a very discrete supercell right now in Southwest Michigan. This is what's causing this storm here. I mean, this thing's very discrete. I mean, the environment around it's completely open. I mean, we do have a few cells in Northeast Indiana, but this is very far away. Influence would be little to none. Let's see here. They issued a mesoscale discussion and said maximum tornado intensity 95 at this tornado that was happening. Wait, what? A mesoscale discussion said maximum tornado intensity 95 as this tornado was happening. What do you mean by 95? Well, like 95 miles an hour, maybe? Huh. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But what I am sure of is that you guys need to be in your shelters here. For Minden, Minden's still in that warning there. The storm is rolling through Minden, though. Yeah, I mean, this thing is, I believe at this point, is heading into some mainly rural areas, but there is still some houses. You know, there's some places all around here. A lot of farmland. We got a lot of farms around here. But yeah, Minden, that main area, it did kind of roll through. Okay, I got some good news. They did actually just downgrade the warning back to a radar indicated threat. But still, I mean, like I said, I don't care if it's radar indicated or radar confirmed. Same thing still needs to happen. You still need to be in the same spot. You still need to be in your basement or a storm shelter if you have one, and if not, then the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. You know what's crazy is I love how this stream went from a update on today's severe weather event to just full-blown coverage. It just shows you how crazy nature can be sometimes, Yeah, I mean, because the main stuff isn't expected to happen until, several hours from now. It's supposed to start happening soon, but, then we'll have the big line develop here later on this evening. 95 miles per hour, gotcha. Gotcha. Yep. Quite a nasty storm here. Let's see. Yeah, I really wonder if this Mesonet station got hit, man. I mean, literally that tornado went right over the airport. So I genuinely wonder if it... I really genuinely wonder if it did hit that Mesonet station. And if it did, I really wonder what the data looks like on that. They probably collected some useful information on that. If it's still around, which is very interesting. Let's see here. Rotation on our storms near Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. All right, we'll take a minute to hop over there real quickly. Let's see what we got going on with these guys. Here's Pauls Valley. We're going to load up our radar data here. You said by Pauls Valley? Yeah, what a different radar, man. It really just looks like a bunch of high-end velocity to me. Unless I'm not seeing something. Did they even tornado tag that? They did not. No, it's not even tornado tagged here. They do have a severe warning in place, though, for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter hail. Baseline severe warnings here. Yeah, and then this one out by Mill Creek is only warned for... Actually, sorry, it's warned for both. Yeah, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter hail. Let's see here. And for tomorrow, a marginal only 5% wind isn't bad, right? So put it this way. It basically means that if you're just in a normal 5% non-significant risk, Basically just means that there's a 5% chance probability of damaging winds uh, observing or happening within a 25-mile radius of your given location. So, for example, if there, where you're at, imagine a 25-mile radius around you. Basically, it means that there's a 5% chance that we could see damaging winds. In this case, upwards of 60 miles per hour or so, in terms of gusts, being possible. The odds are very low. Yes, the odds are very, very low in that case. But anyways, all right, let's hop back over to the Michigan storm, dude. So we still got Branch in. This is Branch in sorry, not St. Louis. Branch in St. Joseph County here. Still is a very dangerous storm going on, but it is mostly more in rural areas now, which is good. But this thing definitely does have the history of producing tornadoes. They literally, I just said that, and they literally have that in their text. I just noticed. In that exact quotation, the storm has a history of producing tornadoes. We did actually just get a new severe thunderstorm warning on this cell, which includes Athens, Homer, let's see here, Burlington, Albion, as well as Teconsha. I think that's how you say that. Let's see here, this is warned for literally just quarter-size hail. Wind should be less than 50 miles per hour. But anyways. Okay, let's bring back up our velocity here. Very messy. Very, very messy storm. Or scans, I should say. But yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But if you guys have not seen the risk area for today, so this is what we're dealing with today. We do have a really big enhanced risk here for today. This, believe it or not, where we're scanning or where we're tracking is in this area. This is the level 1 threat for today. The biggest threat for today is in the orange areas. This is the level 3 threat for today. The biggest concern for today is going to include bits of southwestern Missouri, portions of like western Arkansas, as well as eastern Oklahoma and eastern Kansas. Also bits of southeastern portions of Nebraska as well is in that enhanced risk here for today. Let's see here. Oklahoma out in front of the storms. Oklahoma out in front of those storms look very clear. Not a good sign. Let me pull up satellite view actually. Let's pull up the geo color. I do want to take a peek and see what the satellite imagery looks like right now. Yeah, so some clearing. If you do have some clearing, it could allow for the surface to heat up to maximum potential. But if you have cases where there's a lot of cloud cover, it could actually prevent the cap from breaking, the surface from heating up enough to allow for convection to start. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we did have, we still do have quite a bit of clearing going on in parts of Oklahoma. Yeah, over here by Michigan, where this one cell is, that one supercell, I mean, it looks like it's kind of like half and half cloudy, partly cloudy. Sewing says they're lying about our 22-mile-an-hour winds. It feels higher. You'd be surprised at how strong 22-mile-an-hour winds are. I mean, I've measured 22-mile-an-hour winds, and they seem like they're really fast. But anyways, so yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on the storm. Let's see here. How much longer we have left on this? We have 3 more minutes left on that tornado warning. Okay. But like I was saying, guys, I'm gonna be live late tonight for coverage. I'm not gonna be live for the main part of the event. Like I said, I want to be here for nighttime. I want to save my energy for nighttime, like kind of late because we do have ourselves we do have ourselves some of that convection, some of that nasty activity going on into the overnight hours here too. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Why is that storm trying to look like an octopus? What, this one here? I don't know. Very interesting though. I wish we had a little bit more better radar data here, ain't gonna lie. It's not that the radar is that far, it's just that the data that we're collecting here on this, I mean, it's just... Oh, look at that, actually. Okay, got a new tornado warning now, including Union City and Sherwood. Let's see here. Glenda Rose says, if it's not too much of a hassle after this warning expires, can I please look at Wednesday for me here in East Tennessee? Yeah. They actually they just added a new warning. But yeah, let me do that real quickly. When do you want to look at it? You said for Wednesday, right? Okay. All right, so Wednesday. Let me pull this up real fast. I'm going to try to hurry up because we do have that new warning that just popped up. But let me bring this up for you. So you're worried about Wednesday in Eastern Tennessee. I'll pull up the... Oh, that's convective inhibition. Whoops, I want to pull up instability. CAPE here. MU CAPE. Here we go. All right, so... whenever this decides it wants to load, I will kind of show you what the environment could look like here for Wednesday. See, maybe we'll hop to... Yeah, everything should be working. I don't know why it's taking a minute to load here. Hello? Maybe a mixed layer cape? Ah, there we go. That works. All right, so yeah, as we approach our way into Wednesday, there really is not a whole lot of instability available for these storms here. I will bring up most unstable cape too. I mean, I hope that it actually works, but it's not really wanting to. Let me grab a sounding here for Wednesday. So yeah, one thing I am noticing for Wednesday, there is not a lot of instability. I mean, the atmosphere is pretty stable. You know, through some of the layers. I mean, there is a little bit of instability here. Dew points here is in the 50s and 60s, which works. Our wind shear isn't anything extremely strong per se. I mean, this doesn't really seem like an explosive environment here, you know. But I mean, a couple of storms could exist, but it doesn't really seem like a significant severe event or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, also SPC just doesn't have anything for you yet, so and I see why. I see why. So I wouldn't worry about it. All right, looks like that hook is kind of getting caught back up into the precip core here. Let's see here. We'll pull up correlation coefficient. Don't see any debris signatures with it. Yeah, so how long does this thing have? So we have 29 minutes on this new warning here, which includes, let's see, this included the areas of Union City and Sherwood. 4:26 p.m. Eastern Time, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Collin, or 15 miles northwest of Coldwater, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Sewing says, let's see, waiting for a stop sign to blow down. It barely survived our 60-mile-an-hour winds. All right. Yeah, we got more reports of Three Rivers here. Numerous reports of significant damage on the southwest side of Three Rivers. Storm chasers and emergency management confirmed multiple tornadoes touched down prior to damage. Here's a new one. Whoa. A video sent in showing a tornado hitting the some type of store and lifted at least a portion of the roof off of the main building. Their storage unit nearby was also damaged by the tornado. Debris seen flying around in the circulation on the video. Wow. That's honestly kind of crazy, though. That is pretty crazy. I just really hope that everybody's okay out there. I mean, that warning's still in place. Storm doesn't look as healthy. Menard store, gotcha. Let's see. Storms acting like the one that went through Oklahoma and Kansas last night. Kept looked like it was done, but then fire. Yeah. We actually tracked that one yesterday. Yeah, that one was pretty crazy. The one that just kept on recycling. Yeah. Let's see here. Thank you so much. Me and my grandson both have storm anxiety, so you saying there won't be a lot of instability definitely calmed us a bit. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, the environment doesn't look anything like significant. It's nothing comparing to what we have here, like for today. So yeah, I mean, once again, also like I said, the SPC, the official forecasters, the Storm Prediction Center, do not have any risk saying that there's going to be damaging storms for that area. So yeah, it'll be all right. We'll get through it. And say even if there is a risk that does get added, which I wouldn't rule it out, but if it did, it would be on the lower scale. And even then, I'd still update you on it. I'd still keep you up to date as it went on if there was. Vienna says, let's see, is the storm weakening as it travels across the state? This particular storm itself, it doesn't look like it's weakening, but it looks like it's just the tornadic part of the storm. It looks like it might be, I don't know. There's definitely still some likely rotation going on in that thing. I mean, they still have a warning on it. But like I said, the radar data here is a little iffy, though, that we're getting at the moment. But the storm itself, I mean, it's still kicking. I mean, we still got a pretty good hail core on it and stuff like that. See, I barely missed Wakita, though, where the museum twister is, but an unwarned tornado touched down in the town right behind. Let's see here, behind the main one. Scary no science. Wow. Gotcha. I could definitely see a marginal for me Wednesday, but I don't know. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, what really limits your storms out there on Wednesday is instability. I mean, I even pulled up here. Let's bring in MU Cape. I'm trying to get MU Cape to work. Oh, there we go. Now it works. Yeah, I mean, even most unstable layer Cape here, it shows maximum of 200 joules per kilogram. That's very low. I mean, that is a low amount of instability. I mean, this is 11 p.m. on Wednesday here. I mean, the wind shear isn't too bad, but there is definitely a limited Cape here. Lower levels might have a little bit of a hard time firing off storms too. There's a little bit of a cap here, but yeah, it's not anything to worry about though. All right, tornado warning in effect still for 24 minutes, although the tornadic part of the storm is getting ready to go towards Union City here and getting ready to push out of the warning. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they extended a new warning in towards Burlington and Tecumseh. I think that's how you might say that. So we shall see. The storm wants to try again. Are we kidding? I mean, the environment. I mean, let me pull up meso analysis here. I really want to see the. Let's see here. Yeah, I want to pull up meso analysis so we can kind of look at the current data here. Kind of what we're looking at. What are all those white lightning symbols? Just basically telling you this is lightning strikes within the last 20 minutes. The white ones. And then of course we have the yellow plus ones. This is lightning strikes within the last 40 minutes, and then we have the red ones, which was in the last hour, last 60 minutes. But it just shows you where there is detections of lightning. All right, let me bring up the meso analysis up here though. On this little particular storm here, looks like we have about 1,000 joules per kilogram of mixed layer instability, or mixed layer Cape. Wow, This is actually a decent little environment, actually. Yeah, I mean, look at the veering on the lower levels there. On the surface, we have winds coming straight from the south to the north. And as you go up in altitude a little bit, the wind direction changes and the wind speed increases with altitude. Photograph shows a little bit of curvature to it. But yeah, 1,000 joules per kilogram, that's enough. 850 millibar winds to the northeast at about 35, 40 knots. So 35, 40 knot lower level jet there. A slight amount of veering. Interesting. Yeah, wow, even 925 millibar wind shears, 35 knots. I mean, that's not that high up. 925 millibar height, that's like at max, like 1 to 2,000 feet or so. That's not high up at all. I mean, that's pretty shallow. Oh, they got a new tornado warning. I knew that they'd add Homer and Burlington and Concha. we literally just said that a minute ago. Just says okay. I thought it signaled power outages. no, it's just lightning activity. Within the last 20 minutes is what these guys mean. It is pretty energetic though. There's a lot of lightning strikes on it. Oh wow, look at that shape. It's still got its hook shape to it. Gosh, dude, I hate this radar data, man. Let me try the Grand Rapids radar. It's a little bit further. Probably not going to be well. Yeah, I mean, this is scanning 4,700 feet up from the Grand Rapids radar. Let's see here. Mary says, anything going to happen in Wichita, Kansas? So yeah, Wichita is actually under a level 2 threat for today. Let's bring this back up real quickly. So you can see Wichita right here. We do have a level 2 threat for today. Let's see here, which includes a 5% chance for tornadoes. Now they do have a SIG level 1 risk, which means that potential strength of tornadoes, if they were to form in the environment, would be upwards of I almost said category. I did say category, not category. Upwards of EF2 in terms of strength here with that SIG level 1 risk that we do have. In terms of damaging winds, we do have a 15% non-SIG risk, 15% chance of some gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So, and in terms of hail, we do have a 15% chance for SIG level 1 hail, which is between 1 and 2 inches in diameter here potentially. So hail is going to be your main concern, following by some damaging wind potential, and an isolated tornado or two in the general area cannot be ruled out. You definitely need to be on the lookout for today. Mary says thanks. No, yeah, no problem. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. So this tornadic cell is heading right towards Burlington and Concha. So if you know anybody out there, also by Union City, heads up to you guys. Let's see here. How much longer do we have? We have 48 minutes on that warning. So we still got a while on that warning there. But anyways, alrighty guys, I think I'm probably gonna roll off here. I know I hate to do this, but I'm gonna save a lot of my energy for later this evening. I'm gonna stream, honestly, probably after midnight. I'm gonna stream late. I'm gonna stream very late. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to be live. I don't want to like burn myself out per se, because for me it's really hard for me to sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours and in stream. I mean, sometimes I will, of course, but I really firmly believe that we need people covering nighttime too. So I'm going to cover the nighttime part of the event here. So we'll be live later on. This was actually just supposed to be an update on the system here, but it turned out into full-blown coverage here from these tornado warnings. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna roll off for now. if you guys do want to join our Discord and stuff and chat throughout the day, you can. It's in our description. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for now. We'll be back later on though. We'll be back later on. I'm not sure what time, but likely after midnight tonight. It's gonna be late. It's gonna be really late. But I do need to have coverage for nighttime. So, anyways. But that is that. But all right, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for joining. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you guys here later on. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.